Palestine at the time of Jesus?
The political situation. Palestine in Jesus' day was part of Roman Empire, which controlled its various territories in a number of ways. In the east, Eastern Asia, Minor, Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. Territories were governed either by kings who were friends and allies of Rome, often called client or kings, or by governors supported by a Roman army. When Jesus was born, all of Jewish Palestine, as well as some of the neighboring Gentile areas, was ruled by Rome's able or friend and ally, which is Herod the Great. For Rome, Palestine is lay between Syria and Egypt, two of Rome's most valuable possessions. Rome had religions in both countries, but not in Palestine. Roman Imperial policy required that Palestine be loyal and peaceful so that it did not undermine Rome's larger interests.
When Herod died shortly after Jesus' birth, his kingdom was divided into 5 parts. Most of the Gentile areas were separated from the Jewish areas, which were split between two of Herod's sons. Namatay si Herod human matawo si Jesus. Gibahin-bahin ang iyang gingharian ug kalima. Lain-lain ang dili Kristiyanos ug ang mga Kristiyanos sa mga lugar gitunga og kaduha sa mga anak ni Herod ang mga lalaki. Herod Archelaus, who received Judea and Idumea as well as Samaria, which was non-Jewish, and Herod Antipas, who received Galilee and Perea in the New Testament. Antipas is somewhat confusingly called Herod, as in Luke 23 versikulo 1 to 12. Apparently, the sons of Herod took his name, just as the successors of Julius Caesar were commonly called Caesar. Both sons were given lesser titles than King Archelaus was Ethnarchs and Antipas was Tetrarchs. The non-Jewish areas, except Samaria, were assigned to a third son, Philip to Herod's sister Salome, or the province of Syria. Si Herod Archelaus kuno nga nakadawat sa Judea ug Idumea nga gitawag og Samaria nga dili Katoliko. Si Herod Antipas nga nakadawat sa Galilea and Persia sa bag-ong kasulatan. Nagduha-duha si Antipas sa tawag nga Herod gidala sa anak ang ngalan sa iyang amahan, isip saksi sa kalampusan. Tanang lalaki gitagaan og ubos nga ranggo kaysa Haring Archelaus nga usa ka Tetrarchs. Antipas usa ka Tetrarchs nga dili Katoliko sa maong lugar, gawas sa Samaria nga giingon sa katulo nga anak nga si Philip nga anak sa igsuon ni Herod nga babaye nga si Salome nga taga probinsya sa Syria. The Emperor Augustus deposed the unsatisfactory Archelaus in 6 CE. However, and transformed Judea, Idumea, and Samaria from a client kingdom into an imperial province. Ang emperador kuno nga si Augustus nga nagtangtang ni Archilio sa unom nga sie. Ang pag-usab sa Judea, Idumea and Samaria sa gikan sa nagsalig nga ngirian sa ilahang probinsya. Accordingly, he sent a prefect to govern this province. That minor Roman aristocrat, later called a prosecutor, was supported by a small Roman army of approximately 3,000 men. Ilang gihatag sa sakto og maayong modumala sa ilahang probinsya sa Roman aristocrat nga gitawag nga administrador nga suportaan sa gagmay nga Romanong sundalo nga gibanabana sa giingon nga 3,000 nga mga kalalakihan. The soldier, however, came to from Italy, but from nearby Gentile cities, especially Caesarea and Sebaste. Presumably the officers were from Italy. During his public career, the Roman prefect was Pontius Pilate, ruled 2636 CE. Kaning mga sundalo nga nangabot dire gikan sa Italia duol sa syudad sa Gentile, labi na ang Caesarea og Sebaste. Ang ilang mga opisyal gikan sa Italy sa panahon sa atong Ginoong Hesus. Ang perpektong Roman mao ang Pontius Pilate.
Palestine at time of Jesus was mainly composed of Judea. The most important and traditional region included the capital, the holy city of Jerusalem. Close to Jerusalem, we find the town of Bethlehem. So in this place where Jesus met John the Baptist. And also Jesus went to the Judean desert for 40 days and nights of contemplation and fasting. There he resisted the devil's temptation. Samaria, a region of mixed and somewhat heretical people. The Samaritans were people who lived in Samaria, what had been the northern kingdom of Israel. The kingdom's capital, Samaria, was placed between Galilee to the north and Judea to the south. The Samaritans were an ethnically mixed nation with Jewish and pagan heritage, although they revered Yahweh as did the Jews. Their faith was not common Judaism at that time. They affirmed only the first 5 books of the Bible as canonical, considered their temple as Mount Gerizim rather than Mount Zion in Jerusalem. Galilee, a northern region crossed by the commercial traffic with Greece. Here is the village of Nazareth and most of the towns that Jesus frequented. So Galilee, where Jesus grew up and his ministry began, where he performed many miracles. Idiome. As well, see, Jesus often moved between Galilee and Judea, crossing Samaria and staying mainly west of River Jordan.
Good day everyone, I am Adrian Taylor Onipa, reporting about the people of Palestine. By the time of Jesus, the land of Israel had been under the control of the Greeks, then the Romans for hundreds of years. As a result, not all people in Palestine were Jewish. They would have been living side by side with Roman officials, soldiers, business people and landowners from a number of countries. The people of Palestine, non-Jewish, were referred to as Gentiles, and they would have followed their own religion. The Jews did not normally mix with Gentiles. The Jews also kept some of their own people at a distance from their society. Those considered sinful people, which would have included prostitutes and lepers. So, when we talk Palestine, these are people are non-Jewish, which means they don't believe God. They would have followed their own religions. Jewish people, they believe Jesus Christ, the Savior. Also, they believe of God the Father. Jewish people are belong to God, but Palestine they don't believe God. That is why Jews are also keep some of their people will distance from their society, because Palestine, those are considered sinful people. They are doing things that against God. The people of the religion were mainly Jewish. They had settled there at the time of Abraham. They returned there after their slavery in Egypt under the leadership of Moses. Lastly, after Nebuchadnezzar deported them to Babylon on 586 BC or before Christ, Cyrus allowed them to return to Palestine on 515 BC. Their society was mainly pastoral and consisted of farmers, with their obvious surrounding activities. There were also fishers, artisans, merchants, or etc. It was overall hardly a welfare society, lacking any social insurance system we experience today. There were around 3 to 4.5 million Jews living around the Mediterranean during Jesus' birth. That's all.
The Galilee, also named the Lake of Gennesaret or Sea of the Galilee. Jesus spent most of his life in the Galilee. He spent his childhood and teenage years in Nazareth learning the carpentry trade from his father, studying and teaching about God. When he was about 30 years old, Jesus left the Galilee for the Judean desert where he met John the Baptist. John baptized Jesus in the Jordan River, which is the Galilee. Then Jesus went into the Judean desert for 40 days and nights of contemplation and fasting. There he resisted the devil's temptations. After his time in the desert, Jesus returned to begin his Galilee ministry led by the Spirit. Galilee, where Jesus grew up and his ministry began, where he performed many miracles.
Good day everyone, my name is Victor Villegas and now we will talk about the clothing and the language during the time of Jesus in Palestine. Ancient Israelites spoke Hebrew, but by the time of Jesus, Hebrew had become a sacred language used for prayer and for the reading of the sacred writings. Few Jews would have used it for everyday speech, and the common people spoke Aramaic. It is also a language related to Hebrew and was used widely throughout the Palestinian area. But by the time of the Roman Empire, the Greek language was also learned by many Jews and it was also spoken. As Palestine became part of the empire and Latin was the official language of the Roman Empire, some of the Jews who are the part in the administration must have known Latin because it was also part of their official decrees. Now, let's talk about the clothing in the time of Jesus followed by the Roman fashion. As you can see, it is similar to the clothing of the Islam or the Muslim people. However, Islam is also a monotheistic religion. The basic garments worn by the Jews were Teutonic, usually white and cloak, and it was applied to both men and women, although the material used for women's clothes was finer. And that would be all. Thank you.